Mark Carney's first statement as Prime Minister. If you want to stay informed about the latest political developments and in-depth analysis of world leaders, be sure to subscribe for more exclusive updates. Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of England and the Bank of Canada, has officially taken office as the Prime Minister of Canada. His election marks a historic moment, bringing an economist with extensive global financial experience into the country's highest political role. Following his victory, Carney delivered a powerful and visionary speech outlining his priorities for Canada's future. His address focused on economic growth, climate change, social equity, and international cooperation. A historic election and unprecedented leadership. Carney's election represents a departure from traditional political leadership, as he is the first Canadian Prime Minister with a background primarily in central banking rather than party politics. His victory was fueled by widespread public support for economic expertise in the wake of global financial uncertainties. Many Canadians saw him as the right leader to navigate economic turbulence, inflation concerns, and the need for fiscal responsibility. The core themes of Carney's address. In his first speech as Prime Minister, Mark Carney outlined his administration's key priorities. His address was widely anticipated, as both supporters and critics were eager to see how a leader with financial expertise would set the tone for his governance. Below are the main themes he addressed. 1. Economic stability and growth. Carney wasted no time addressing Canada's economic future. He reassured the nation that his government would focus on maintaining financial stability, reducing inflation, and ensuring long-term economic prosperity. Canada's economy is resilient, but we must take decisive action to strengthen our financial foundation. My administration will work tirelessly to create jobs, reduce the cost of living, and ensure that no Canadian is left behind. Carney announced plans for a fiscal strategy that would balance economic growth with responsible government spending. He emphasized that while investment in key industries is essential, reckless deficits would not be tolerated. His economic plan includes lowering inflation through strategic monetary policies, supporting small businesses and entrepreneurship, strengthening the Canadian dollar to maintain purchasing power, encouraging innovation in the technology and energy sectors. His emphasis on evidence-based policy drew praise from economists who believe his financial expertise will steer Canada in a positive direction. 2. Climate change and green economy initiatives. As a longtime advocate for climate action, Carney made it clear that environmental sustainability would be a top priority of his administration. He reaffirmed Canada's commitment to achieving net zero emissions by 2050 and laid out a bold plan to transition to a greener economy. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it is an economic and social issue. Canada will lead the way in green innovation, investing in clean energy, sustainable infrastructure, and climate resilience. He pledged investments in renewable energy projects, incentives for businesses to adopt green technologies, strengthening regulations on carbon emissions, partnering with Indigenous communities for sustainable development. His climate policies received strong support from environmental groups, but raised concerns among fossil fuel industry stakeholders who worry about potential economic disruptions. 3. Social equity and inclusivity. Carney also addressed the growing disparities in Canadian society, promising to build an economy that works for everyone, not just the wealthy. He acknowledged the struggles faced by low-income families, Indigenous communities, and marginalized groups, pledging targeted policies to promote social mobility and equal opportunities. A prosperous Canada is one where every citizen, regardless of background, has access to quality education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. We will not allow inequality to widen under our watch. His social equity plan includes increasing the minimum wage to ensure fair compensation, expanding affordable housing initiatives, strengthening healthcare funding, including mental health services, enhancing diversity and inclusion policies in the workforce. While progressive Canadians welcome these proposals, conservative critics question the fiscal feasibility of some of these initiatives. 4. International cooperation and Canada's global role. Carney's international experience made his foreign policy stance highly anticipated. He emphasized that Canada would strengthen its alliances and play a leading role in global economic cooperation. Canada is a nation that thrives on collaboration. We will work with our allies to ensure global financial stability, advance climate action, and promote human rights around the world. His foreign policy vision includes strengthening Canada's trade agreements, supporting multilateral organizations like the UN and WTO, advocating for democratic values on the global stage, increasing humanitarian aid and refugee support. While his commitment to internationalism was praised by diplomats, nationalist critics argued for a more inward-focused approach to governance. Public reactions: a nation divided. Carney's speech sparked a wide range of reactions from different sectors of Canadian society. Supporters praised his vision. Economic experts and business leaders applauded his emphasis on fiscal responsibility and innovation. Environmentalists welcomed his ambitious climate policies. Social activists were encouraged by his commitment to tackling inequality and supporting marginalized communities. Global policy analysts viewed his leadership as an opportunity to enhance Canada's international influence. Critics expressed concerns. Conservatives raised concerns about increased government spending and potential tax hikes. The fossil fuel industry worried about the impact of climate policies on Canadian energy jobs. Nationalists criticized his emphasis on globalism, arguing for more focus on domestic issues. Despite the criticism, Carney supporters argue that his leadership represents a fresh, data-driven approach to governance that will benefit Canada in the long run. Challenges ahead. Can Carney deliver? Mark Carney's ambitious vision for Canada is inspiring, but he faces significant challenges. Balancing economic growth with social spending. Can he implement progressive policies without increasing Canada's debt burden? Climate policy resistance. How will he navigate opposition from industries that rely on fossil fuels? Partisan gridlock. Will he be able to build bipartisan support in a deeply divided political landscape? Global economic uncertainties. As a financial expert, how will he shield Canada from potential global recessions? Carney's ability to address these challenges will define his legacy as Prime Minister. His leadership will be closely watched, not just in Canada, but around the world. Conclusion: a new chapter for Canada. Mark Carney's first statement as Prime Minister set the stage for a transformative period in Canadian politics. His focus on economic stability, climate action, social equity, and international leadership has both inspired hope and sparked debate. As he embarks on his tenure, the big question remains. Share your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful political coverage.